The morning of July 15th dawned like any other in Gaza, but by nightfall the skies had turned a terrifying red, reflecting the flames of Israeli airstrikes. Over 60 Palestinians, many of them civilians, lay dead. Hundreds more were wounded, overwhelming the already strained medical facilities in the Gaza Strip. The world watched in horror as images of the carnage flashed across television screens and flooded social media feeds. The strikes, concentrated in southern and central Gaza, marked a deadly escalation in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. These recent strikes, according to initial reports, targeted Hamas military infrastructure. Yet the human cost tells a different story. Among the dead were families huddled in their homes, shoppers in bustling markets, and children playing in the streets. The strikes have left the already beleaguered population reeling, grappling with fresh grief and a deepening sense of despair. In times of war, the concept of a safe zone offers a glimmer of hope. It promises a sanctuary from violence, a place where civilians can seek refuge from the storms of conflict. The United Nations and other international organizations have long advocated for the establishment of such zones in conflict areas, including Gaza. However, the reality in Gaza paints a grim picture, one where the notion of safety feels like a cruel joke. The recent airstrikes have shattered the illusion of security. Even within designated safe zones, hospitals, schools and UN shelters meant to be havens have become targets, turning the promise of protection into a tragic irony. The roar of fighter jets and the terrifying whistle of falling bombs have become all too familiar sounds for the people of Gaza. This time, the strikes targeted areas in southern and central Gaza, including bustling market stalls, a UN-run school, and densely populated refugee camps. Witnesses described scenes of chaos and carnage as bombs rained down, turning everyday locations into landscapes of death and destruction. One strike hit a crowded market where vendors were selling their wares and families were shopping for basic necessities. The air filled with the cries of the wounded and the frantic pleas of those searching for loved ones amidst the debris. A UN school, a supposed sanctuary for displaced families, also came under attack, turning a place of learning into a scene of unimaginable tragedy. As the dust settles on the wreckage, a familiar blame game ensues. The Israeli military claims its actions were in response to rocket fire from Hamas, asserting that the strikes targeted military infrastructure and that every effort was made to minimize civilian casualties. They point to the complexities of urban warfare, where Hamas deliberately embeds its operations within civilian areas, using innocent lives as shields. Hamas, on the other hand, denounces the strikes as acts of aggression and war crimes. They claim that Israel is using disproportionate force and deliberately targeting civilians to break the will of the Palestinian people. The truth, as is often the case in war, remains shrouded in a fog of conflicting narratives and propaganda.